Anybody that wants to come. So we have travel warnings. Don't go here, don't go there, don't go to the various countries. And yet she's taken in the worst of those people. The killers, the jailbirds, all of the worst of the people, she's taken them in. And then I have to sit there and listen to her bullshit last night.
Like, he texted me things like, well, you know, you can't fix stupid. Sorry, that doesn't work with me. Yeah, you're stupid because you're not thinking about the bigger picture. You're not thinking about maybe we did something wrong. Maybe we're not perfect. You know, it's like a relationship. You got dumped. America dumped you, and they're all like, you don't know what you had.
No, it's
yes, they do. They know what they had.
So the Trump regime is now attacking the Midas Touch network. They are using the Department of Justice social media accounts to respond to our Midas Touch reporting, saying that our reporting was false with regards to the Epstein files release batch 8 that took place 24 hours ago. We stand behind our reporting and we stand up against the Trump regime. We are not CBS. We do not bend the knee.
For years, Bill Maher was one of Donald Trump's most relentless critics on television. Night after night on HBO's Real Time, Maher warned America about what he saw as Trump's authoritarian tendencies, his dictatorial aspirations, and the threat he posed to American democracy. Maher didn't just criticize Trump's policies. He systematically exposed what he believed were Trump's plans to destroy democratic institutions and install himself as a permanent ruler. But then something shocking happened.
But you know who all this posturing for a cause reminds me of? This fat guy from Florida who's always pretending that he's all about the cause of making America great again when plainly he's simply history's greatest attention whore. He's always finding some new injustice, from Obama's birth certificate to rigged elections, learning nothing about it and making it personal. So chew on that, my warrior friends. The person you most resemble is the guy who looks like he's always jerking off two guys at once. There it is, I got it in.
Let me tell you what's going on here. So, as you know, the Midas Touch network was the first to report before any other news network talked about it. We reported first about that letter that seemed to be sent from Jeffrey Epstein to Larry Nassar. Larry Nassar, of course, was an individual convicted of sexual abusing hundreds of young girls. That's a physician to the U.S. gym team and the Michigan State University gym team. And so the Midas Touch network reported.
In 2025, everything changed. And the story of Bill Maher's relationship with Trump, from fierce critic to dinner guest at the White House, reveals something deeply troubling about how power works in America. If you want the real story that connects all the dots, hit that subscribe button right now. We're USA Press, and we're about to expose the most dramatic transformation in political commentary history. Let's get into it. The Dictator Checklist. Maher's systematic exposure. Back in 2018, during Trump's first term, Bill Maher created what he called the Dictator Checklist.
And you have an open invitation, right? You have an open invitation to go back to the White House.
No.
Oh, you sure?
I mean, it depends on the week. I mean, you know, he still yells at me.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't.
He yells at everybody.
I know, but
he's never called you piggy, because I know he wouldn't call you piggy.
No, he's called me. Are you kidding? I have a list of 56 insults that he has called me over the years. I brought it to the White House and he signed it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an amazing document. But
you remember the following in Dataset 8, Batch 8 of the Epstein files release, which was briefly posted on the Justice Department's website. There was a letter alleging to be sent from Epstein to convicted sex offender Larry Nassar. It talks about their love of young ladies, and it talks about our president shares our love of young nubile girls. When a young beauty walked by, he loved to grab snatch, whereas we ended up snatching grub in the mess halls of the system. Life is unfair. Yours, J. Epstein. We made very clear in our reporting the facts surrounding this letter. We explained that the letter was returned to sender. we reported how their other reporting indicates that Epstein sent a letter to Nasser from prison before his alleged suicide. The contents of that letter were never revealed, and additional documents show that the letter was submitted for handwriting analysis by the FBI, though it's unclear if investigators reached a conclusion whether or not this was definitively written by Epstein.
A systematic breakdown of authoritarian behaviors that Trump was exhibiting in real time. And folks, Maher wasn't joking around. He was dead serious. On his show, Real Time with Bill Maher, he laid out 10 specific characteristics of dictators and tracked how many Trump had already checked off. Let me run through this list because it's absolutely chilling. Number 1, narcissism and putting your name or face on buildings. Check. Trump Tower, Trump hotels, Trump everything. Number 2, putting family members in positions of power.
And he said, you know, I've heard from a lot of people who really like that we're having this dinner. Not all, but a lot. And I said, same. A lot of people told me they loved it, but not all. And we agreed. The people who don't even want us to talk, we don't like you. Don't talk, as opposed to what? Writing the same editorial for the millionth time and making 25-hour speeches into the wind?
It would be nice if we could see what the FBI analysis was back after this letter was uncovered. This letter purports to be postmarked August 13th of 2019. It does have the bearings of a Virginia penitentiary address, but that is the routing center for where these letters get sent when you're in MCC, the Metropolitan Correction Center. It would potentially go to Virginia, and it doesn't get sent out right away, so it would make sense that there could be a delay from when Epstein wrote it to Epstein's alleged death by suicide to when it got sent out. So we gave all the details and the facts that it was sent out for FBI analysis back in 2019, 2020, and no one knows where the handwriting analysis is.
Ivanka Trump as senior advisor, Jared Kushner handling Middle East peace, nepotism on steroids. Number 3, holding rallies to whip up supporters. Check. Trump held rally after rally even while president. Number 4, having your own propaganda outlet. Maher pointed directly at Fox News. Check. Number 5, using the office for personal financial gain. Check. Trump never divested from his businesses. Foreign governments stayed at his hotels. Number 6, being aligned with other dictators and strongmen. Check. Trump's love affair with Putin, Kim Jong-un, and every authoritarian on the planet.
Hey, would you want to see a little more of Trump and Zelensky and Neil? Let's just see where America is now. I just want to see a little more of this, please.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. You're gambling with World War III. You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. You have to be thankful. You don't have the cards. Then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire.
Great day to be an American. My first thought is he's having this big browbeating with a guy who speaks English as a second language.
So, the U.S. Department of Justice's official account responded to the Midas Touch post. And here's what the U.S. Department of Justice wrote. They said, the FBI has confirmed this alleged letter from Jeffrey Epstein to Larry Nasser is fake. The fake letter was received by the jail and flagged for the FBI at the time. The FBI made this conclusion based on the following facts. The writing does not appear to match Jeffrey Epstein's. The letter was postmarked 3 days after Epstein's death out of Northern Virginia when he was jailed in New York. The return address did not list the jail where Epstein was held and did not include his inmate number, which is required for outgoing mail. The fake letter serves as a reminder that just because a document is released by the Department of Justice.
Number 7, claiming minorities are responsible for the country's problems. Check. The constant attacks on immigrants, the Muslim ban, all of it. Number 8, lying so freely that people don't know what the truth is anymore. Check. Thousands upon thousands of documented lies. Number 9, wanting a military parade. And when Trump announced he wanted a military parade in Washington, D.C., Maher checked that one off too. That left just one item on the list, wearing a military costume. Maher said, and I quote, That's the day I have to resign. It's pretty scary. 9 out of 10 on the dictator checklist. Think about that.
Now, I don't want to show a lot of the tape from last night because it's too hard to look at. But just show this one thing. We picked out one thing. Just for people who don't watch, and they watch this show to catch up on the news, this is what the Republicans are going to show from now until Election Day.
Making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with.
Does not make the allegations or claims within the document factual. Nevertheless, the DOJ will continue to release all material required by law. So the Midas Touch Network responded to the DOJ, and here's what we wrote. Thank you for your reply. As noted in our reporting, additional documents show that the letter was submitted for handwriting analysis, though it's unclear if investigators reached a conclusion whether or not this was definitively written by Epstein. So we asked the DOJ, because they're responding and attacking our messages. Was a conclusion reached on the official handwriting analysis? Can you provide the documents detailing the investigation's conclusions?
Bill Maher was systematically documenting on national television how Donald Trump was following the authoritarian playbook step by step. The slow-moving coup, Maher's terrifying prediction. But Maher didn't stop with the checklist. In October 2021, he delivered what became one of the most viral and terrifying monologues of his career. He called it Trump's slow-moving coup, and he predicted exactly what would happen in 2024. Maher's prediction was based on 3 premises.
I'm not saying you don't have a point. I'm just saying it's hard for people to understand why that, which is not democracy, that's the border issue. And you're right, they fucked it up. That, with like the things he's been saying, and all the people in his administration who said he's a fascist, he wants to be a fascist, he talks like a fascist, his friends are all dictators.
If the letter was confirmed fake by this analysis, were there efforts made to investigate the real sender and understand how the letter was discovered by investigators? Also, if you think about what the Department of Justice has been producing in terms of the Epstein files, so far they've only produced a very small fraction of what's in the files. We don't have the FBI witness statements. We don't have those survivor interviews and the victim statements. We don't have a ton of the FBI reports. We don't have some of the under seal indictments that were never previously released. We don't have a lot of that. So why would you be putting out DOJ?
Trump would run again in 2024, he would get the Republican nomination, and this is the crucial part, whatever happened on election night, Trump would announce that he won. Maher told his audience, Trump has spent his post-presidency figuring out how to pull off the coup he couldn't pull off last time. And he was specific about how it would work. Maher explained that Trump was systematically removing anyone who had stood in his way in 2020. He was backing election deniers for Secretary of State positions across the country. He was installing loyalists who would refuse to certify election results.
I mean, so we're all agreed this is deplorable. You know, I've tried to not use the word deplorable as much as I can, but when it's deplorable, it's deplorable. And anyone who likes it, I mean, that's a deplorable point of view. But here's my question to you guys. I always said Trump is a coalition winner like every politician is. It's about a third of the country that loves this and will love anything he does. He got elected with that other part that's not the half that's liberal and democratic, but thinks that he was in some way less crazy than they are.
Fake letters out of context, and then to say it's fake, so there's just now fake manipulated fabricated letters within the Epstein files. In many ways, if it was fake, wouldn't that make it worse and traumatizing victims even more, that you've been okay with fabricated fake documents where you didn't do the analysis that was supposed to be done back in 2019 and 2020 over the forensics, and now you're just releasing fake documents? Are you trying to release fake documents to say, look, none of these documents can be trusted at all? Is that part of the plan that you are engaged in? Why wouldn't you make that clear when these were produced in the first place? Why would it have to be reported?
Maher said this time his claims of illegal voting by immigrants or mail-in ballots coming in after deadline or the system was hacked by Venezuela will be fully embraced by the stooges he's installing right now. He predicted chaos. He predicted a scenario where two people would be claiming to be president simultaneously, and he predicted violence. The ding-dongs who attacked the Capitol, Maher said, that was like when Al-Qaeda tried to take down the World Trade Center with a van. It was a joke. The next time they came back with planes.
He was right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death.
You see the head, the way he turned that head? He wanted to. He knew the two-shot would be up there. He wanted to have his head turning like, let's watch the guy show how crazy he is. He's looking for it. Look, this election.
You're blaming that on Trump?
No, I'm watching his theatrical ability. He is playing this.
Okay, but he didn't have to do anything. I mean, he came out, it reminded me of when Mike Tyson used to knock guys out in 90 seconds. Like, that was like 2 minutes into the debate, and I went, oh, this election is over. I mean, that was like a haymaker right away.
Like, I'm watching the guy.
At the time, we do know that this letter was indeed sent from the Metropolitan Correction Center where Epstein was, and it was found around Epstein's belongings. So how did it get there? Doesn't this raise many more questions? As Seth Abramson writes, CNN confirmed as well that the envelope holding the Epstein-Nasser note was sent from the Metropolitan Correction Center in New York City, where Epstein was being held to Nasser and got vetted by federal officials, which explains the Virginia postmark, which is where the FBI is. So why won't the FBI release the 2020 handwriting analysis if it did? If that analysis concluded the note was a forgery, how did the FBI preclude the possibility, even likelihood of dictation in 120 minutes? Where's the real Epstein-Nasser note we know that Epstein sent? Because we do know from emails from the Bureau of Prison that were obtained by the Associated Press in 2023 that there was an Epstein letter to Nasser.
Bill Maher was warning on national television that January 6th was just practice, that the real coup attempt was still coming. CNN's Chris Scalise wrote at the time, "A year ago, I might have rolled my eyes at Maher's nightmare scenario. After what happened on January 6th, we all should take what Maher envisions very seriously." Maher exposes Trump's plan to never leave. In November 2022, just before the midterm elections, Maher went even further. He dedicated an entire segment to explaining how Trump would ensure he never had to leave power.
It just made me think, I'm sure every single member of the Saturday Night Live cast was a Harris supporter. But what if one of them wasn't? What if one of those cast members was for Trump? Would they have felt comfortable saying so? I really don't think so. They would have had to keep it to themselves. That's not a good place for us to be. I remember when, and that happens even more on the left.
So this is the fake Epstein-Nasser letter. What the hell is going on here? And one of the things that happened before the DOJ and FBI attacked Midas with that post, they previously posted another message saying that they would do an investigation. Then 90 minutes later, they said their investigation's done. It's false. Game over. There's no need to talk about it. We're going to attack Midas Touch. Now, there were a lot of survivors who have been pissed about that. There are survivor statements that are out there now saying, this is traumatizing us more, essentially, that you're out there saying that there's fabricated and false documents that are in the files. What the hell is happening, DOJ, or what these survivors?
Maher predicted that once Republicans retook Congress, which they did, they would immediately begin impeaching President Biden and would never stop. He said they would make Biden a crippled duck heading into the 2024 election. But here's the really scary part. Maher said, and even if Trump loses, it doesn't matter. On Inauguration Day 2025, he's going to show up whether he's on the list or not. And this time, he's not going to take no for an answer because this time he will have behind him the army of election deniers that is being elected in 4 days.
I know why you're excited today, huh? Boy, March came in like a lion and went out with Trump on the lam. Well, yeah. I know, that's the first in American history. You realize that? No American former president has ever... and this is, of course, for the payment to Stormy Daniels to keep her mouth shut. And we could get bogged down in the legal details of this. Just suffice it to say, if you don't know all about the details here, that Trump's lawyer went to jail for this. I mean... That's like getting the clap and your doctor dies. I mean,
are saying right now. One of the things that we also know is currently taking place, and Axios is reporting, and it's being reported elsewhere. So the White House has begun managing the DOJ's account on X, an effort to finish out the year and the Epstein file disclosure. So the White House is now running the DOJ social media accounts. And we also know that the Trump administration estimates that it has about 700,000 more pages to review before it claims it will be releasing the Epstein files. So there's 700,000 more documents.
The message was clear. Even Trump's own wife wanted nothing to do with him. The Laura Loomer scandal. Maher exposes Trump's affairs. In September 2024, Maher went nuclear on Trump with an explosive segment that got him sued for defamation. When far-right activist Laura Loomer started appearing everywhere with Trump, Maher didn't hold back. He said on live television, "I think maybe Laura Loomer's in an arranged relationship to affect the election because she's very close to Trump. She's 31, looks like his type." Then Maher revealed what he'd been saying for years. "We did an editorial here a few years ago. It was basically,